It's been a depressing few weeks all round. The air doesn't work, for many it feels like justice doesn't work, and the economy hasn't been working for some time now. So what makes the last few weeks worse? A cascading nature perhaps. It's almost like all the bad news was somehow being shoved into a closet and held with utmost force. But despite Ayodhya, Sabrimala, Rafael and the rest of it, the bad news, economically speaking, came tumbling out of the closet. One fell swoop after another, growth targets for India have been sliced and chopped down to levels many of us India optimists never saw coming. It started with data that showed factory output contracted by 4.3% in September. Economists moved quickly, and first amongst them to sharply cut growth forecasts was SBI Research. SBI lowered its estimate for growth in GDP at 4.2%. Not just that, for the full year, the target moved down to 5%. Many factors went into that markdown: plunging automobile sales, deceleration in air traffic movement, a flattening core sector, and declining investment in construction and in infrastructure. Much the same from Nomura, which has projected September quarter GDP growth to decelerate to 4.2% from 5%. In fact, the brokerage cut its overall GDP growth forecast to 4.9%. That's the lowest so far amongst forecasting agencies. Analysts at CLSA believe as well that growth could slip to 5%. Another problem CLSA feels is that global financial markets are seeing slowing growth in India as an isolated, easy-to-fix problem. But with the entire banking system becoming risk-averse, a reversal in the slowdown and a change in sentiment, things will take a long time to fix. It's a similar dismal story for agencies like CARE Ratings and ICRA. While some of this can be scoffed at or explained as in the numbers or a global problem, the trouble lies in what's ahead. Earlier this month, Moody's cut India's ratings outlook to negative from stable. The rating agency pointed to increasing risks that India will grow at a slower pace than in the past, but for a much longer period than expected. It also sliced its outlook for 21 Indian companies with marquee names like State Bank of India, Indian Oil Corporation, Infosys and NTPC, all moving to negative from stable. Moody's then followed it up with a cut in India's economic growth forecast to 5.6% from 5.8% estimated earlier. It warned that the GDP slowdown is lasting longer than previously expected. But here's 3 reasons why this isn't seeming like a fly-by-night slowdown anymore, something the economy and the country will just shrug off and bounce back to life in the next few months. The situation is very, very precarious. Number 1, the dreaded I word. Inflation is rearing its ugly head again. Food inflation jumped to 7.89%. That's the highest since July 2016. Vegetable prices have soared 26%. Pulses, meat, fish are all up between 10 to 12%. Retail prices for onions hit up to 100 rupees per kg in areas like the national capital. Number 2. Recently, a report revealed NSO data whose release was then called off. The consumption consumer spending fell for the first time in more than 4 decades in 2017-18, crunched down by rural demand that actually fell close to 9%. The average amount of money spent by a person in a month fell close to 4% to 1,446 rupees in this year versus over 1,500 rupees through 2011 and 2012. Simply put, people are unable to spend as much. A dip in expenditure means a rise in poverty. India is getting poorer. Bit by bit, every moving part of the economy is coming apart. Unemployment is spiking, growth is stuttering, industrial production is hit. People had cut down on purchases in any case, but now staples, basic needs like food are getting increasingly expensive. Can this resolve itself? Inflation does have a seasonal nature to it, but not for the next few months and not in a rush. And finally, number 3, the hubris of choosing to see only what you want to see. What is most worrying is the tone of response and the commentary that comes out from the government. It's no one's claim that the government must jump to it for every point of criticism, but is it really the establishment's stand to refute growth concerns with comments such as these? Are we truly peddling ideas like tourism economy and train travel as legitimate answers to the situation? There's also less room for the government to now do what's often called big bang reforms. There's less money to spend and much less leverage to meet the fiscal deficit target. It's a rock and a hard place. Can a nation with a population of 1.37 billion truly take comfort in an unemployment rate that's close to 10%, where youth unemployment stands at 25% and growth at 4.5%? Is it a matter of pride that we are moving faster than developed economies that are, in any case, not where our ambitions as a growing economy should lie? On the 14th of November, Children's Day, schools across many parts of North India were shut. Children stayed in, trapped in their homes because of the toxic air outside. Our government has failed its children just as it is failing our nation and its potential to grow.
To receive instant updates on all videos from The Wire, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Pay to support independent journalism. Click the link in the description and choose the amount you want to pay.